The flag is down at midfield.
The penalty on the play.
It would be 4th down and about 7.
Penalties against Cass.
Cass Tech might have gone for it on that play, but instead they're going to take 3rd down. Falls all the way back to the 40.
That'll make it 3rd and 25 for the technicians.
3rd and 25 is where it is. On field. Steps back. They're going to hand off now to Kobe King. He's at midfield, looking to get past the original line of scrimmage. He does. He gets brought down by Jaden Conklin.
Number 1, Kobe King, the ball carrier
now it's
for
decision
Cass
time
Tech.
for the technicians, what they want to do. Looks like the punt unit's coming out.
Jaden Conklin with the stop for De La Salle. It'll bring up 4th down.
4th down.
Hernandez is trying to pick up the line. Stanley back to the Pilots. He's back near the 10-yard line. We'll see if Hernandez puts De La Salle inside their own 5. That's what he wants to do. We'll see. Stanley, a very excellent kick returner for the Pilots. Line drive kick. This one is going to go to the 10, down to, looks like the 7-yard line of the Pilots. And that's where the Pilots will begin their next drive.
You'd certainly wish that would have just bounced into the end zone for a touchback.
The Cass Tech punt is out of bounds at the Pilots 7-yard line.
After they had
So De La Salle will have it 1st and 10.
drive before that interception off the throw from Brady Drogas.
Yeah, absolutely, and we'll see what they can do here. Tonight's Detroit Free Press Game of the Week is presented by Detroit Public Schools Community District. Every school day counts for children's academic, social, and emotional development. Detroit Public Schools Community District is preparing students for their rise. They simply providing face-to-face learning and online learning at home or in a learning center. Enroll today. Visit DetroitK12.org or call 313-240-4377. Remember, when students rise, we all rise. Also the 7-yard line for the Pilots of De La Salle. Drogosh in at quarterback again. Gonna go for the play action this time, looking down the field. No one is there. He might have was looking deep down the field for his tight end, the junior Gavin Griswack.
They just got rid of that one a little bit too quickly and threw it out of bounds. Not where he had intended to be throwing the football. Maybe a little bit of nerves for Drogosh after that possession interception. Important for him to just kind of settle down. You know, I understand you're going up against one of the best teams in the state, even as a sophomore. It's a very tough opposition, but it's going to be imperative that he's able to settle down and keep going.
We'll see. He's only a sophomore. He still has those nerves. And after the snap, you have a flag. Let's see who this is on. False start on the Pilots. They're going to move the ball back half the distance to the goal, so it'll be at the 4-yard line for a 2nd and long. Cloudy night here in Detroit, Michigan. We're calling for rain, but the rain has put off for right now. It was raining earlier in the day. We'll see how the weather plays out for both teams, how the style they play, how that will affect. Because that's always a factor. 2nd and long for the Pilots. Drogosh throwing. That one is caught by his sophomore wide receiver, Jack Yannichik. What they're going to say, it touched the ground, incomplete.
And that's a big blow for De La Salle, as that was a complete pass. I think the ball had come loose after the wide receiver had fallen down and gotten taken down. That was a nice throw from Drogosh, quickly under pressure to get rid of it. Dropped by his wideout, and unfortunately, that's going to be called back as an incomplete pass. Jack Yannichik unable to hold it down.
So it's going to be 3rd down for the Pilots. Ball back at their own 4. 3rd down and 13 is where it's at. Drogosh. Pass to be very careful in the end zone, his own end zone, looking over to his right. That was too high, too far for the junior wide receiver, Alton McCollum, to make the catch. And now the Pilots will have to send out the punt.
Deep into their own end zone. You're going to have to get rid of this ball. And you know Cass Tech is going to be sending heavy pursuit. And you look at De La Salle, how far they're backed up. They're right at that out of bounds line on the back end of the end zone.
Yeah, they got to be really careful. 3 of 26 to go. That one is sent away by Michael Bucci. Back to return for the technicians is Kalen King. He has it, has some space. He's at the 20. He's going all the way down to the 10-yard line and into the end zone. It is a touchdown for Kalen King on a punt return.
De La Salle misses about 4 to 5 tackles, and King just able to kind of find his way into the end zone, and it didn't look like that was going to be how that play ended. He kind of bobbled the return after initially grabbing it, and then just kind of dinked and dunked his way into the end zone, left, right, as De La Salle missed 4 or 5 tackles, and all of a sudden he was 10 yards free to the end zone for the score.
Yeah, Kalen King is a very talented player, like we mentioned. As Hernandez is ready to kick the extra point. Kalen King, a Penn State commit, has done really well for this technician squad over the course of his senior season. As Hernandez's extra point is good, and it's 7-0 in favor of the technicians over the De La Salle Pilots with 3:10 to go here in the first.
And, you know, if you're De La Salle, you're going up against one of the best teams in the state. And, you know, you kind of, you weren't satisfied with your start, obviously. The interception from Drogosh on your first offensive drive, but your defense came out and they did their job. And all of a sudden you give up a touchdown within a matter of seconds that you were not anticipating giving up. And you're back to the drawing board here after what was looking to be, you know, a better start than most teams have started off the year in their games against Cass Tech with. But now quickly, Brady Drogosh and the Pilot offense is about to head back out onto the field.
Yeah, De La Salle, like you mentioned there, they've played some very talented teams in the Catholic League Central Division with Brother Rice, St. Mary's, and Catholic Central. Also played a team out from the west side of the state, a division in Division III, DeWitt, a few weeks ago. And then they took down Harper Woods, also a very good program in Division III. So the Pilots have been really well tested over the course of the season. And you got to have that mindset when you get into the playoffs because anything can happen.
And this is a good game for both them and for Cass Tech. You know, Cass Tech has really taken it to the majority of their opponents this year. You know, the toughest team they've played is the Troy King. They've beaten them twice. And De La Salle will be a good test for them. And as a young program that De La Salle is, it's important for them to, you know, get to play these type of teams with their young core and let them develop and grow.
Looked like it was touched by Brett Stanley. He wanted it to go out of bounds. The Pilots could have had it at the 35-yard line. But they're going to say Stanley touched it before it went out of bounds. So the ball spotted all the way back at the 14-yard line in Pilot territory. 3:02 remaining here in this first quarter of play. It's a 7-0 lead for Cass Tech over De La Salle. Here in our Detroit Free Press game of the week. Drogosh is back out to work for the Pilots. And another flag at the line of scrimmage. Another false start penalty against the Pilots. And the Pilots are questioning who jumped first.
False start.
De La Salle's not happy about that call. But you can't afford to make those kind of mistakes against this good of a team. And you already aren't starting in great field position. The last thing you want to do is push yourself back 5 yards.
First and 15 at the 9-yard line. They're going to give it off to Brett Stanley. He has nowhere to go where a swarm of technicians get to him. It's a good tackle by the junior, Dorian Ray Jr. He was able to get to him that time for no gain. So it's 2nd and 15 at the 9-yard line. 2:38 to go in the first.
And it's going to be tough for Stanley. He's going to have to be able to get to the outside. This line is really going to have to open up something for him to be able to get up the middle because there's a lot of size on that Cass Tech defensive front.
Yeah, we've seen how good the Cass Tech defense is over the course of the season, especially last week against Detroit King. Drogosh going to step back to throw. He's in the end, so has to throw it out. That one is going to be incomplete. I was almost intercepted by Kobe King. In the area on the play was the junior offensive lineman, Noah Dobbs. Now 3rd down and long for the Pilots.
Only guy you listen is Nate. Nate is the free safety.
3rd down and 15.
What's it called? The white again?
Drogosh. Calling for it. Gets it off. Going to give it to Stanley. Has open room, but closes really quickly.
And a flag came from back behind the snap.
Yeah, the tackle by Darius King, as well as the junior Deion Walker.
It's a personal foul.
And they're going to call a personal foul on De La Salle. Cass Tech will decline it, and it's 4th down.
And penalties really hurting De La Salle in this opening quarter. They got to play a little bit more disciplined football here. You're not going to be able to commit these type of silly and done by yourself mistakes and be a good team like Cass Tech. You cannot shoot yourself in the foot and expect to win. So, De La Salle is going to have to get the defense back out on the field here. Hope the defense can get a stop as they kind of talk it over with their offense about what needs to change. There's too many penalties coming from that De La Salle offense right now.
Yeah, they got to be able to find themselves in a position to don't do those kind of mistakes. As Bucci gets a nice punt. That one's going to go all the way back to midfield and go all the way to the 40-yard line in Cass Tech territory. That was a nice punt by Michael Bucci.
Punt. Skitters to a stop at the technician 40-yard line.
1:47 to go in the first quarter.
First
Pilots were able to make a stop on Cass Tech on their first offensive drive. But after the punt return for a touchdown by Kalen King, that's the difference maker so far here in this quarter. On field. Handoff to Briggs. Briggs gets to midfield. He gets brought down on the play by Stanley, and we have a flag down.
Number 5, the ball carrier.
Looks like it's going to be a hold against Cass Tech, so that play's going to be coming back.
And it's going to be 10 yards from the spot of the foul.
Holding. That would be 10 yards from the spot of the foul.
So the ball's back at the 39-yard line. 34-yard line, I should say. First down and 16. 1:37 to go here in this first quarter of play.
First and 16 for the technicians.
Mumfield, 4 wide receiver set. He's going to have it this time on the quarterback keeper. He slides down before a tackle by J.C. Ford, and another penalty is thrown.
Number 16, Leishan Mumfield, the ball carrier for Cass, but there's another flag on the play.
So another holding against Cass Tech on back-to-back plays.
That'll be a 10-yard penalty from the start of the foul.
So the ball will be back for a first and very long.
Yeah, Cass Tech looking at a 1st and 30.
The only thing I would say is that the only reason why they called it I wouldn't say that.
Approaching the final minute of this first quarter of play. First down and long for the Technicians. This time, Kobe Kane able to get some room. Looks over to his left side. Gets knocked out of bounds by Will Beasley on the side. And Kobe King has just been able to move his way down the field.
He's knocked out of bounds after a healthy run.
It's a good 13-yard gain for Kane, and it's going to be 2nd down and 5 for the Technicians.
Yeah, big gain on 1st down after a couple penalties. But that's what King is going to bring to the table, especially in a game like this where he's going to have a big size advantage. It took a lot of hits to knock him out of bounds there.
Clock's at 25 seconds. Mumfield in the shotgun looking down the field, and that one is going to be incomplete. Intended receiver that time was the junior Latrell White. Nice job making that stop was Tyler Gerling of the Pilots.
Yeah, nice job. They get in front there and get a hand on that pass to break it up. Thought he might have been able to run in and intercept it, but a good job by the Cass Tech wide receiver to get his body in front and go down, blocking Gerling from being able to get in there and intercept the football.
3rd down and 5. Ball at the 45-yard line in their own territory. 21 seconds left here in this opening quarter. 7-0 lead for the Technicians. Sharit. That's actually on the play. Sean Hodges, I should say. Hodges made that run. Will Beasley made the stop. And it's going to bring a 4th down with 8 seconds to go.
Sean Hodges, the ball carrier for Cass.
And it looks like the clock will run out here in this first quarter of play. It is a 7-0 lead for the Cass Tech Technicians over the De La Salle Pilots at the end of 1 here in our Detroit Free Press game of the week.
Yeah, and one thing to watch if you're De La Salle is Noah Dobbs came up slowly after that tackle by him there, and he was definitely looking a little bit shaken up. So we'll see if he's going to have to come off the field here, and if you're Cass Tech, you have to make a decision now on 4th down if you want to bring out the punting unit or get aggressive and see what the offense is going to, see if they bring the offense out and see if the offense is able to get the 4 or 5 yards needed.
We'll see what they do as both teams switch sides. This broadcast is brought to you by the Detroit Free Press, your flagship news and information source for sports in Michigan. The Free Press has launched a new digital subscription model, which gives high school sports fans exclusive access to Mick McCabe's weekly columns, rankings, and predictions. Your support will help the Free Press stream high school football games all season long. Subscribe today at freep.com for our latest promotional offer. 2nd quarter of play about to begin. 7-0 lead for the Technicians over the Pilots. Looks like it's 4th down and 3 for Cass Tech, and it looks like the offense is going to stay out on the field.
It'll be 4th and 4 for the Technicians.
Actually, they're not. They were thinking about it, but they're going to bring the punting unit out instead. Hernandez is going to send it away. Stanley's back to return. We'll see what Cass Tech does. They are going to send it away. Hernandez gets a nice kick. It's at the 40. It's going to go inside. Looks like at the 38-yard line. Before that was picked up on the play by the senior Joel Graves.
And not
bad if you're De La Salle. The defense comes out and handles their business. Now we're going to have to see, can the offense finally get something going? The Pilots and Dan Rowan certainly are going to hope so here on this offensive possession. But if you're King, you stay true to what you've been doing. The defense has done a nice job, not necessarily getting to Brady Drogosh and putting a lot of pressure on him, but they've done a great job in the secondary, manning up and winning their battles, and Drogosh hasn't really been able to get anything through the air, and that's been De La Salle's point of attack tonight. So Cass Tech has done a phenomenal job defensively.
Now it looks like we'll see J.C. Ford in the quarterback position. First time we've seen him here tonight. Like we mentioned, the Pilots like to use that 2 quarterback system they use with Drogosh and Ford.
flank to the boundary, you flank to the boundary, you flank to the boundary.
So let's see what Ford does here. Going to give it off to Brett Stanley, but has nowhere to go. The door closed really quickly because of a nice tackle by the senior Clarence Wilson Jr.
Yeah, and that's where the De La Salle offensive line is gonna have to do their job, and they're gonna have to give Stanley or Ford enough time to get the ball and make a play. You can't collapse right away, and that's what happened with the De La Salle line there.
2nd and 10.
So no gain on the play. 2nd down and 10 at the 38-yard line for the Pilots. 45 seconds into the second quarter, down 7-0. Two wide receivers out for the Pilots on the right. Moving Stanley over to the left of Ford. Ford looking over, and it looks like Coach Roan will have to use his first timeout of the half with 10 and 59 remaining.
Timeout. De La Salle.
Yeah, he kept calling over to Ford, and I think he wanted them to, snap the ball and get the play underway. And it was taking a little bit too much time, and there he has to call the timeout, and he's going to talk things over with his offense.
Yeah, we'll have to see what he does here. He doesn't want to have to take another penalty if you're the Pilots. Just looking at some other games happening around the state here tonight. Games were pushed back to an 8 o'clock start or even 7:30 because of the weather that was supposed to happen here tonight, but that's pulled it off for the most part in this case. Got some games out in Oakland County, Birmingham Groves and Rochester Hills, Stony Creek. Birmingham Brother Rice and Detroit Country Day going at it, as well as Lake Orion, West Bloomfield, and Livonia Churchill traveling to Belleville tonight. A lot of exciting games in the final week of the regular season. Second down and 10. They're going to give it off to Brett Stanley. Gets a nice run. Gets stopped by Darius King. A manageable 3rd down coming for the Pilots.
Yeah, certainly a better situation to be in than 3rd and 10 from inside your own 5-yard line. So they'd certainly rather be in this position, but important for De La Salle to get something going here offensively. You don't want to have to continue to come off the field on 3 and outs.
3rd down and 6. Ball's at the 42-yard line with 10 and 21 to go here in this first half of play. Ford looking over, going to keep it himself. He likes to do that a lot. Let's see if he can get the first down. Looks like he does. We'll see where they spot it. That was a nice tackle by Deion Walker. But they're going to say the Pilots just got it, and it's a first down. Move to chains.
Number 12, Brady Drogas, the ball carrier for De La Salle. And he rumbled his way to a Pilot first down.
And that's what Ford likes to do. He likes to keep it for himself on the quarterback keeper and just able to move it up down the field, maybe not down the middle, but able to create space to get the first down like he did there.
And that's part of the versatility that the De La Salle offense has. They're comfortable with Drogosh being more of a pass-first, drop-back quarterback, and with J.C. Ford, they're comfortable putting him in the Wildcat formation and letting him try to create from the quarterback position.
That's something Coach Roan has done so far with this Pilots team, as Stanley has it here on 1st and 10, has nowhere to go, flags everywhere down on the field. The tackle that time by Javon Cannon, as well as Caleb King.
Stanley getting the ball carrier for De La Salle, but there's a flag on the play.
Clock's at 9:09 here in the first half. Looks like it's going to be a penalty on Cass Tech for a face mask.
De La Salle will take that. They're able to get on Cass Tech's side of the field, and now you try to take that and let momentum swing its way in your favor.
And into Cass Tech territory. Something I really haven't seen a lot here for them here tonight. Ball's at the 37-yard line in opposing territory. They got Beasley and Stanley on each side of Ford. Ford still in. Stanley looking to go up the middle. He's had a tough time finding his way down the field. Can't get anything.
Again, number 30.
Tackled by the sophomore Jalen
Stanley, the
Thompson,
ball carrier
as well as Dorian
for
Ray
De La
Jr.
Salle. He's met by a laboratory full of the technician defenders.
And it looks like a timeout called on the field. We'll see who it's on. Looks like Cass Tech was calling the timeout.
Timeout. Cass Tech. With 8:24 left in the first half, the score remains
8:24. They used their first timeout of the half.
De La Salle, 0.
Yeah, and they want to talk it over here because they see De La Salle on Cass Tech's side of the field, and they think, you know, that's not okay. We need to talk it over and make sure we're prepared here to get a stop right now and not let them advance any closer towards the end zone. So a big defensive possession for Cass Tech, just as much as it's a huge offensive possession for De La Salle. This is still just a 7-point game, and De La Salle sees that they have an opportunity here. They're trying to capitalize on it, and obviously Cass Tech needs to do everything they can here to avoid De La Salle from being able to do so. So a big timeout here. Cass Tech realizing that this situation is mounting in favor of De La Salle.
Yeah, they had that face mask penalty called against them to put the Pilots in their territory. And the Pilots, like you said, they need to capitalize.
Yeah.
Because they have an opportunity to do so. Only being down one possession with 8:24 remaining.
What's it called?
Ford's back out.
Let's go.
2nd down and 9 at the 36-yard line. Ford looks over. Flag on the field. Ford keeps it himself. A swarm of technicians get to him that time.
Number 30,
tackle by Wilson Jr. and Walker.
The ball carrier for De La Salle. Number 44, Clarence Wilson with the stop for Cass Tech. Flag on the play.
And it looks like it was a false start
Penalties
against
De La Salle.
De La Salle, but Cass Tech will decline it, and it's going to be 3rd down.
They'll bring up 3rd down.
On De La Salle looking here at 3rd and 8, so you know, not necessarily in field goal range yet either. It's just an imperative 3rd down for them.
Yeah, they got to get past the 1st down marker to get in field goal range. Clock's at 8 minutes. 7-0 lead for the Technicians. They're at the 35-yard line of the Pilots. Looking to get on the board as Ford is going to throw for the first time here tonight. Looking for Nichols down the field. Had it, then dropped it. Was a nice defensive play by Graves, breaking up that pass.
Number 25, Tristan.
And there could have been a pass interference there, but
Number 11, Joe
Nichols
Graves
also
on the
had an
cover for
opportunity
Cass Tech.
to bring that one in, and he was unable to. That's good defense, just as it was nearly a penalty from Cass Tech, but they get a big-time stop.
We ain't got enough.
The Pilots are going to send out the punting unit here on 4th down and 8 at the 35.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Watch the fake, watch the fake.
Bucci going to punt it away. Back to return is Kalen King.
Let's go, snap the ball!
They get it off. And that one looks like it's going to go into the end zone for a touchback. And Cass Tech will start at the 20-yard line.
De La Salle had an opportunity there. Cass Tech was scrambling to get 11 men on the field. They had an opportunity to snap that football, and they did not get it out quick enough. That's a mistake on their part. And now Cass Tech gets the ball, and they'll start it with it at the 25 as De La Salle unable to pin him inside as that ball drops into the end zone for a touchback.
Now the Technicians get back to work. We said the offense looking to get some production. The De La Salle defense has done well for the most part, besides the punt return touchdown, as Muntfield completes it over to the senior Jacob Taylor.
Pass is complete.
It's his first catch of the night.
Number 3, Jacob Taylor with the
He gets a
reception.
gain of about 9.5 or so it's going to be 2nd down in inches.
Gain
And
of about
what you
9
saw
on the
right
play.
there was Dandridge, the
2nd and 1
defensive back for the
Technicians.
Pilots, just kind of leaves some space, moves away from the Cass Tech receiver, and it's just an easy dump off from Mumfield for a nice gain, and you're looking at 2nd and 1.
Muntfield back. Hosendove down the middle. Breaks through one tackle before he finally does. Grabbing him on the legs is Noah Dobbs. He's back in.
Number 4, Allen Hosendove, the ball carrier for Cass Tech. He gains enough yardage for another.
Hosendove also has
First down.
that build to him
First and 10,
to able to
Cass
break
Tech
through tackles like he did
from their
there.
own 38-yard line.
6:40 to go here in the first half. 7-0 lead for the Technicians. Muntfield steps back to throw. Looking over down the middle, nearly intercepted. Jaden Conklin almost had that one.
Pass intended for number 9, Jameel Gardner, incomplete.
Yeah, Conklin was in front of that one right there, but was just kind of turning his body still and didn't have a quick enough time to react and hold on to that football. Would have been huge for a De La Salle team that's still trying to find themselves in this football game.
6.5 to go. De La Salle defense has stood tall for the most part. Well, still got a lot of work to do. A lot of time left. 6.5 to go in the half. Muntfield in a shotgun again. Decides to give it off to Kobe King. He looks for a nice run. He gets down.
Number 1, Kobe King, the ball carrier for Cass Tech.
Kobe King had 9 carries for 96 yards and a touchdown versus Detroit King last week in the PSL
Maybe
championship.
3rd and 1 for the Technicians.
He had that early touchdown to give Cass Tech the lead. So it's going to be 3rd down coming up. King with it again. Open space down the field. There he goes. Gets past Tyler Gerling. Still up. He's going to the 20. He's at the 15. That's N. 5. And it's a touchdown for Kobe King.
De La Salle has done a decent job against the pass offense of this Cass Tech team. But every time that the Technicians hand the football off, it's been a very tough time for De La Salle. And right there, no one able to get to or wrap up King, and he's able just to take it to the end zone himself. De La Salle's going to have to find a way to stop the run if they're going to win this football game.
53 yards to the house. And King got past Tyler Gerling. Looked like Gerling was going to get him on the legs, unable to. And Kobe King was able to just go all by himself into the end zone. 5:44 remaining here in this first half. The extra point is up by Hernandez, and it is good. 14-0 in favor of the Technicians over the Pilots.
And if you're De La Salle, you really need that offense to get going. You want to put some points up on the board. And we know that this De La Salle team, they're not a very high-scoring football team. The most points they scored were last week against Harper Woods. They then scored 25 in their Week 1 loss to Birmingham Brother Rice. But they don't put up a ton of points. This Cass Tech offense is very capable of an explosion of 40, 50 points. So the De La Salle offense is going to have to start moving and start putting numbers up on the board.
Yeah, they got a lot of work here to do. They have a very tall task against Cass Tech. We've seen a lot all season. The top team in Division I looking to make a run to the state championship. They've done a very talented team over the past decade for Cass Tech. Had 3 state championships in 2011, 12, and 16. And another finals appearance in 2015. So now Hernandez is going to kick this one off. Stanley's back to return. The kick by Joshua Hernandez. Just a short one on the line drive. And just trying to hold on to it on the play. He's able to get to that time Devin Schmelter for the Pilots. Tonight's Detroit Free Press Game of the Week is presented by Detroit Public Schools Community District. Every school day counts for our children's academic, social, and emotional development. Detroit Public Schools Community District is preparing students for their rise as safely providing face-to-face learning and online learning at home or in a learning center. Enroll today. Visit DetroitK12.org or call 313-240-4377. Remember, when students rise, we all rise.
Box.
Ball's at the 30 for the Pilots. Drogosh back in at quarterback for the Pilots. Looking over, throw over to his left. That one is going to be complete over to Nichols. He gets brought down at the line of scrimmage, that time by Kobe King.
Number 25, Tristan Nichols with the reception.
No gain that time. Second down and 10 at the 30.
And the Pilots went for a quick screen pass there and a dump off to Nichols, but Nichols unable to have much time or room to get anything going.
The Pilots need to move down the field. Clock's at 5 minutes to go here this first half. Both teams have 2 timeouts. Drogosh sets back to throw. Lots of time. Well, not a lot of time, I should say, as there was a lot of pressure coming off of the Cass Tech defense.
And that's very tough. You know, you got to think, and we've seen a lot of sophomore quarterbacks this year. And Mumpfield's one of them for Cass Tech. We've obviously had Dante Moore for Detroit King, but a little bit of a different style quarterback in Grady Drogosh, who drops back, takes his time to throw the ball. Not much of a scrambler like a Mumpfield or a Moore can. And right there, he's facing pressure right away. And there was really nowhere for him to go. I mean, he threw it to Brett Stanley, but Stanley lost, yards on that play. It was a 3-yard loss for De La Salle. So the offensive line for the Pilots has to give Drogosh more time. He's facing too much pressure right after the snap for him to really be able to throw the ball down the field for De La Salle and gain positive yards.
They have to here. 3rd down and long at the 27 for the Pilots. He's going to look over. Has to throw it away, out of bounds. Nobody down the field.
And that pass is incomplete.
Cass Tech celebrating after that one.
And right there, I just thought Drogosh got rid of the ball a little bit too soon. He was facing pressure, but had Noah Dobbs blocking for him, and had 2 wide receivers out to his outside. He could have looked down the field for a man like Tristan Nichols and just decided to get rid of it there. It's almost like in that position, you take a chance and see if he's able to hold his man and get rid of the football.
Another 3 now for the Pilots. Kalen King's back to return. He had a punt return for a touchdown earlier, but he's going to let this one go down to the 28 after the Pilots touch. And here come the technicians once again, coming back out on offense.
Cass Tech 28-yard line, where the technicians will have the 1st and 10.
3:49 to go here in this second quarter of play. It's Cass Tech 14, De La Salle nothing here in our Detroit Free Press Game of the Week. It's the final week of the regular season for high school football in the MHSAA before the playoffs begin next week. Everyone will get into the playoffs. That's something the first time the MHSAA has done with football for the postseason. Going to be interesting to see. Hosendove on the first play gets brought down by Brett Stanley. Nice tackle in the backfield.
That's a big play for the De La Salle defense. That's really the first time they've been able to get back and hit in the backfield. That running back core of Cass Tech, and Stanley able to do so. And he's dealt with that on the opposite side. He's been on the opposite end where he's being hit in the backfield as the ball carrier. So that's got to feel good for him to get behind the line of Cass Tech and bring Hosendove down for a loss of yards.
Yeah, he has that strength. He also wrestles at De La Salle as well, as plays baseball as well. Mumpfield on 2nd down and 11 has to scramble to get back to the line of scrimmage before he gets brought down on the play. Nice tackle by the junior defensive lineman, Jimmy Milkey III. He gets about 2 yards, maybe 3. They're going to give him 3, 3rd and 8.
And we see Kobe King on that sideline for Cass Tech, not in the game here, and that's what you were thinking. But
3rd and 8 for the technician.
Cass Tech has another big running back to bring into the game. They don't feel any pressure right now. They know that they have the size advantage, and they can try to run this up the middle unless they decide to air it out.
Ball spotted at the 32-yard line. They're going to hand it off to Sharif. Gets nowhere to go. What a nice tackle by the Pilots.
Number 30,
Mason
Sharif, the ball carrier for
Bergain Mason Morgan, the sophomore defensive lineman, made that huge tackle for a 4th down.
Yeah, Moragan and as well as Will Beasley were over there on that play to bring him down. That's a big stand for the De La Salle defense. A nice job by Moragan and Beasley.
We're missing a guy. Where's Miles at?
4th down.
So you heard the Pilots coming back on offense after this punt. You got to be looking to get something on the board, down 14-0. As Cass Tech will get the ball first to begin the second half. Remember, they did win the coin toss. Hernandez taking a lot of time here. Able to get it off before the play clock expires. That was nearly blocked by Conklin.
Go get it. Don't get him.
Stanley.
Don't touch it. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. Let it.
And that one will be picked up
God damn, he's an idiot.
inside the 40. Well, the Pilots with a minute 26 to go. De La Salle gets back to work. They got 2 timeouts to work with. I think you want to be able to move the ball down the field as quickly as possible if you can.
7:30.
Yeah, you got a minute 26 if you're De La Salle. Down 2 scores would be, especially with Cass Tech getting the football to start the second half, would be huge to put some points up on the board. So they know that they got to get the ball down the field quickly. They know that they're under pressure here, and we'll see how they respond to this situation.
3 wide receivers out to the right. 1 to the left of Drogosh, who's back in. He was in the last drive as well, I should say. Drogosh in the shotgun. Looks over to his right, throws. That one is going to be caught by Alton McCollum. He gets down to the 45-yard line. Still inbound, so the Pilots have to move quickly. Clock at a minute 15.
Number 11, Joel Graves with the stop for
Jamal Graves with the tackle.
De La Salle's got to hurry up here. Clock's still ticking.
2nd and 4 for the Pilots.
2nd down and 4 after that 6-yard pickup by McCollum. Drogosh with under a minute. Pilots taking a lot of time. They're going to give it off to Brett Stanley, still on his feet, trying to circle his way through a couple tackles, but can't. As it gets brought down, maybe for a loss of 2, 40 seconds to go.
They call timeout. The clock's still on.
The Pilots aren't using a timeout just yet. Still got 30 seconds, clock continuing to run.
Well, and they may be comfortable just letting the clock run out and not try to force the issue with the way the offense has been slowed in this first half.
Let's go.
Clock at 20 seconds. We'll see what they do.
Hey, tell Joe to get back. Fuck that. He don't need to be pressured.
15. Drogosh back. He gets it off with 10 seconds. Throws. That one is going to be caught. Nice catch by Jack Janacek with 4 seconds left.
The clock has continued to run. I'm not sure why.
And it looked like the Pilots call a timeout. There was 4 seconds rather.
Double pass.
And we're waiting to see.
Hey,
It's a first down. It was a nice catch by Janacek.
Yeah, so we'll see. De La Salle should have one shot here, but you got to think, if they wanted to put the pressure on and try to score here, they could have done it a lot quicker and tried to be a little bit more efficient.
4 seconds.
I mean, you're looking at a Hail Mary shot here if you're trying to score, and we haven't seen them, outside of the one pass where Drogosh was picked off, go deep like that. So we'll see what De La Salle does here.
De La Salle.
De La Salle calls a
4
timeout.
seconds left in the
4
first
seconds
half.
left.
Score remains. Cass Tech 14.
It's a 14-0 lead for
De
the
La Salle,
Technicians
0.
over De La Salle here in the Detroit Free Press Game of the Week. So probably be the last play of the first half. We'll see if the Pilots can get it down the field to the end zone. Look to get something on the board here before halftime.
Yeah, and that's been the problem for De La Salle. The defense has done a pretty good job in this football game. They gave up the big touchdown run to Kobe King, but outside of that, there was the punt return for a touchdown that Cass Tech was able to score their first possession of the game. But overall, the defense has had a pretty solid game for De La Salle. It's really just been not being able to get any points from the offense that's been holding them back, but still very much in this football game, no doubt about it. It would be huge for the Pilots if they're able to score here in a Hail Mary type pass. And, if not, Cass Tech going to carry that momentum into the halftime after a very strong performance.
They've always done really strong for the Technicians over the course of the season. And we'll probably see Drogosh for one heave into the end zone. We'll see what he does. This will probably be the last play of the first half, 4 seconds left. Drogosh calling the play at the line. Steps back to throw, looking. Has a lot of time, looking. And looks like he's going to be sacked for a loss. That was a nice tackle by Dorian Ray Jr. And that is going to end the first half of play with the Cass Tech Technicians leading 14-0 over the De La Salle Pilots.
And Alex, a very competitive first half of play. I think a lot of people are anticipating this being a much more blown open game. Cass Tech just coming in as such big favorites when you look at what they've done this year, undefeated, high scoring performances, blowout win after blowout win, and you look at De La Salle and they haven't had a ton of success this year. The offense has not had a ton of explosion. The defense has been good, but not great. And I think everyone was expecting this to be a little bit of a more wide open game in terms of Cass Tech winning this football game. But De La Salle's come out, and this is very much a football game. Very much could be a 7-0 football game if De La Salle was able to not let Cass Tech score on that punt return. This is a very competitive football game, and it's very exciting to see. There should be a good second half.
Yeah, absolutely. Both sides are going to talk it over, make adjustments as they prepare for the second half of play. I'd just like to mention our Diamond Elite sponsors, Detroit Public Schools Community District. Our children need to be at school, as every school day counts for their academic, social, and emotional development. Detroit Public Schools Community District is preparing students for their rise and has implemented a safe return with options to meet their needs for our families, including face-to-face learning and online learning at home or in a learning center. The DPS-CD team has been working hard to serve families during this difficult time and remains focused on providing outstanding academic, arts, and athletic programs and exceptional student education services. Please join us in thanking DPS-CD teachers and staff for preparing for your child's rise to build a stronger Detroit. Enroll your child at Detroit Public Schools Community District by visiting DetroitK12.org or calling 313-240-4377. Remember, when students rise, we all rise. It is a 14-0 lead in favor of the Cass Tech Technicians over the De La Salle Pilots here at halftime. We'll take a break. We'll be back for the second half right here on the Detroit Free Press Game of the Week.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, we are in the
And welcome back, everybody, to Detroit Renaissance High School. We're ready to start the second half of play between the Technicians of Cass Tech and the Pilots of De La Salle. It's a 14-0 lead for Cass Tech. Let's get ready to start the second half. Alex Johnson and Aaron Johnson with you for the call of tonight's game. Cass Tech will get the ball first to begin the second half.
It's too late now. Ain't nobody selling the shit. Back to the returners up.
Cody Cummins is going to kick it off for the Pilots. This one, a short kick, and that one will be picked up on the ground by the sophomore Rashawn Randall. And we'll see what the technicians do here on the first drive of the second half. Make sure to tune in to us tomorrow for the Detroit 3 Press Game of the Week. It's a doubleheader. The Detroit Catholic High School League Prep Bowl Championships taking place at Catholic Central High School. First off at 1 p.m., it's Clarkson Everest taking on Riverview Gabriel Richard. Then at 4 p.m., it's Detroit Loyola against Novi Detroit Catholic Central.
Should be a pair of fun football games out at Catholic Central tomorrow, Alex. A lot of good football players will meet on that field.
An exciting game. The Catholic League Championships.
To begin the second half.
Ball be at the 44-yard line for the Technicians in their own territory to begin the second half. Sharif on the first play of the second half gets down the midfield before he gets tackled by Will Beasley.
Number 30, Sharif, the ball carrier for.
And one thing I'll be interested to see in this second half is how aggressive is Cass Tech going to be. Are they going to bring out some of their main ball carriers like a Kobe King and like an Alvin Hosendorf? You got to look and say this is the week before the playoffs. You got a half left to play before the playoffs. You don't want to risk any injuries. They're not in a position where they have to win this football game theoretically, and up by 14, they're not under a ton of pressure right now, so they may try to go the first offensive drives and see if they're able to score without putting in a Kobe King and maybe some of their bigger named offensive players, and see if that'll give them time to rest and not risk injury.
It's a smart strategy. Here comes Sharif, has open space, still on his feet. He's down at the 10-yard line. Ball is loose. We'll see who has it. Sharif was going to the end zone, fell down, and we'll see who has it. Looks like the Pilots are celebrating. Looks like they have the football.
Sharif with a sparkling run for
that is a huge play. After Sharif was looking like he was going his way into the end zone, he lost the football, and the Pilots were able to recover.
Yeah, that's a big play for De La Salle to start off the second half, and it looked like it was going to be a huge run for Cass Tech from their third-string running back, and it looked like he was either going to get close to the end zone or break all the way to the end zone. But on the tackle, the ball popped loose, and De La Salle gets down on it, and they now have possession. A huge swing for De La Salle.
Let's see if they can able to build on that.
Hey.
We'll see if the offense can get a huge score for that, maybe on the board. Ball spotted at the 13-yard line, a minute into the second half. Ford looking to move his way down the field. Maybe gets a gain of about 1 or 2 on that play before he gets stopped. The Pilots coming off a win last week against Harper Woods. That was a 29-8 final. Finished in third place in the Catholic League Central Division this year.
Gain of about 6 for the Pilot ball carrier.
Gain of 6, rather, as they call it. They're going to give it off to Brett Stanley. Stanley gets a nice run before he gets brought down by Graves.
Number 30,
was able to get the first down.
And De La Salle trying to build something on the ground, which they had a tough time doing in the first half. But you bring in Ford and the Wildcat, you have a guy like Brett Stanley. If they're able to get to the outside, De La Salle should be able to get some gains here and there. And if they're able to get a big play where the line is able to block for them, that's the one play that De La Salle may need to open this thing up for the offense.
Ball's at the 25 for a 1st and 10 for the Pilots. Ford going to keep it. Right side has room. Able to get a few yards on the play before being brought down by the junior Miles Gilmore. Gilmore made some key plays last week against King as a defensive player. It's the first time we've called his name here tonight.
Again, number 30, Brett Stanley, the ball.
And you gotta wonder if De La Salle's thinking of maybe throwing in a quick pass play here to try to catch the Cass Tech defense off guard. It's that run to start off this third quarter.
And looks like we have a flag right at the snap. We'll see who it's on. Looks like the De La Salle sideline is celebrating. Looks like it's on Cass Tech. We'll wait for the call. It's going to be offsides against the Technicians with 8:55 to go here in the third quarter.
And it's enough to give the Pilots a first down.
It's going to be 1st and 10 at the 35. Any yards you could take for the Pilots you need right now.
1st and 10 for the Pilots from their own 35-yard line.
Fakes the handoff, gonna throw down the field. That one is gonna be caught by Alton McCullum. He's at the 40-yard line before he gets pushed out of bounds by Javon Cannon. And that is a huge first down play for the Pilots.
And it looked like it was an option for Ford, and he didn't hand it off to Stanley, so he spinned out, rolled to his right, and facing pressure, who finds McCollum for the reception, and a big chunk of yards gained there for the Pilots.
And it looks like Cass Tech
fly their way into
is going to call a timeout.
They don't have it 1st and 10.
Looks like we have a timeout on the field.
48-yard line.
Ball will be spotted at the Cass Tech 48-yard line. But first we have a timeout out on the field. Looks like it was called on Cass Tech. Talking things over. Tonight's Detroit Free Press Game of the Week is presented by Detroit Public Schools Community District. Every school day counts for our children's academic, social, and emotional development. Detroit Public Schools Community District is preparing students for their rise and simply providing face-to-face learning and online learning at home or in a learning center. Enroll today. Visit DetroitK12.org or call 313-240-4377. Remember, when students rise, we all rise.
And Cass Tech comes out of that timeout reeling a bit as the De La Salle offense able to move down the field swiftly and effectively on their first drive of the second half after forcing a fumble out of the hands of number 30 of the Cass Tech offense.
Ford. Going to give it off to Brett Stanley. He gets near the sideline before he gets chased out of bounds by Darius King.
Stanley, the ball carrier for
8:09 remaining. Gets a decent gain on that one by Stanley. I'm going to say gain of 2 on the play.
Minimal gain on the play.
And Stanley is an all-around guy for the Pilots. Does everything for this team. He's a very strong and very talented player. Recently got an offer from the University of Dayton. Also is a wrestler and plays baseball at De La Salle. Ford, quarterback keeper, stays up once before King brings him down again.
Yeah, looks like they're going to spot him a yard. That brings up a big third down for De La Salle. And this is what King has done. De La Salle has built some momentum. They did it in the first half, but they never got far enough to really be in scoring territory, and Cass Tech was able to hold it defensively. This is shaping up to look the same way, so a big third down coming here for De La Salle.
So third down and about 8 at the 46-yard line. Huge play for the Pilots. Ford gets it off. Kind of a delayed snap. Ball's down the field. And that one is going to be incomplete. Looking on the play that time, the Pilot receiver, that was Janacek on that far side. Javen Sewell was the guy defending Janacek on that play.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Now the Pilots will have to put it away with 7:22 to go here in the third. It's a 14-0 lead for Cass Tech Pilots.
And a big stop there for Cass Tech as they De La Salle built momentum, but Cass Tech gets in the way and stops it.
Poison!
This one goes to the 26-yard line after a bounce back for Cass Tech, and that's where they begin the next drive. After the fumble by Kareem Sharif, who had a huge run inside the 10-yard line but fumbled the football. Hosendove is in the backfield this time. He's in the pocket. Hosendove gets the handoff. Nice tackle by Stanley. After Hosendove gets
the ball carrier for
a good gain.
Tripped up, number 30.
There was a gain of 9 on the play for Hosendove.
De La Salle, but not until there's a 9-yard gain.
6:56 to go here in the third quarter. They have Kobe King in for this play. A 2 running back package for the technicians and 3 wide receivers. Here comes King. King looking to get some space. Beasley on him, and a swarm of Pilots get to him there. After the play, the officials called the play off, but it's good enough for a first down on second and short.
Cass Tech, and he's met by a squadron full of Pilot defenders. So not until he gains enough yardage for another technician first down.
Ball's at the 39-yard line.
As they scrimmage from their own 39-yard line.
The same package as the last play. Mumfield calls for it, sets back to throw. Lots of time, has to quickly throw. The 2 players were on it. That was Kobe and Kalen King on it. Both went in and out of their hands. Brings up second down and 10 with 6 minutes to go here in this third quarter. 14-0 lead for the technicians.
Yeah, and they tried to get aggressive there on first down and air the ball out, but unable to connect there, and they're looking at second and 10. It's De La Salle defense, so they know that Cass Tech can go to that run and get positive yards. They're going to have to find a way to get some pressure and stop the run.
Looks like it's Hodges this time. He gets past the first down and more before Ford and Stanley make the tackle. And that's another Cass Tech first down.
And
the problem for De La Salle is they're getting no pressure up the middle. Anytime the Pilots have been able to stop the run, it's been pressure coming off the edges. No one in the middle on that defensive line has been able to pull through that big, strong offensive line of Cass Tech. And that's why the technicians just continue to throw the ball, run the ball up the middle, with whether it be Kobe King or Alvin Hosendove. They're comfortable with any of them.
Here's Kalen King this time. Jumps over Gerling, stays on his feet. He's at the 20. Still moving down the field before he gets brought down inside the 15-yard line by 3 Pilot defenders. And that's another first down for the technicians. They're moving along down the field. Kalen King had that punt return for a touchdown in the first quarter. And he gets another huge reception right there with under 5 minutes to go in the third.
It'll be first and 10 Cass Tech from the De La Salle 11-yard line.
Ball's at the 13. Mumfield to Hodges. Hodges with room, plowing his way for a few more yards before Will Beasley makes the tackle with 4:32 to go.
And it's just been too easy on the ground for Cass Tech. They're having way too much progress made there for the Pilot defense, but you gotta commend Cass Tech for capitalizing on a matchup advantage that they have here.
Clock continues to run for the technicians. Approaching about 4 minutes to go in the third. Gonna give it to Hodges again. Gets past Stanley. Looking to get inside the 5-yard line, maybe more. And he's in the end zone for a touchdown. There's a huge run by Sean Hodges, and he adds on to this technician lead. Hodges with some space, got past Brett Stanley, and took it into the end zone. Looked like he was down a bit, but they say he got in. It's another touchdown for Cass Tech.
Joshua Hernandez,
Hernandez's extra point is up, and it is good.
Letters into the darkness,
A 21-0 lead for the Technicians over the Pilots with 4:01 to go here in the third quarter.
A time ticking for De La Salle, down 21-0. That offense is going to have to be able to come out on the field and do better than what was looking to be a promising drive on their first offensive possession of this half. They need to get into scoring position, and they have not been able to do so yet today. And you know, you got to be over on that De La Salle sideline right now, and the defense has got to be talking it over about how they're going to stop the onslaught of a running offense that Cass Tech has brought to the table here tonight.
Yeah, Cass Tech has brought everything on the run game for sure.
Hey, back to the sideline, coaches. Back to the sideline.
Both of their touchdowns offensively came on the ground.
Coaches, back up. Coaches, y'all right by the rim.
Run by Kobe King, and right there by Sean Hodges. And Cass Tech has a lot of pieces in the run game they can use. With Hodges and Hosendove and King and Sharif, they got a lot of options to choose from in the running game. Hernandez will kick this off. Line drive. This one will go into the end zone for a touchback, and the Pilots will get the ball at the 20-yard line to start their next drive.
Yeah, we'll see what De La Salle decides to do when they bring JC Ford back out onto the field. He was the lead quarterback for that first offensive drive of the third quarter, where De La Salle was moving well down the field. Or will they go back to Brady Drogosh?
We'll see who comes out onto the field for the Pilots. It looks like Drogosh is out on the field. For the Pilots. Drogosh. Gives it to Brett Stanley. And he gets stopped at the line of scrimmage by Deion Walker. Nice tackle by him. His size.
Brett Stanley, the ball carrier for
Able to get to Stanley.
Number 51. And
Able to close the door on him.
Stop for Cass Tech.
Stanley's been looking for that open room like he's seen in recent games for the Pilots. Has had a lot of opportunities today for him.
Yeah, we knew Stanley was going to get a lot of touches coming into today's game. You knew the touches were really between him and then Sparsel in, a guy like Will Beasley.
Second down and long. Able to get it off. Drogosh looking over to his right. That one is going to be intercepted by Kalen Kane. He's going to go into the end zone for a pick six. What a nice play by Kalen Kane. Picked off Drogosh's pass, and he took it to the house.
Yeah, King got up there, right, Drogosh, and got up in the air, picked that one off, and was able to waltz into the end zone. As Cass Tech has really taken control of this football game here. A demoralizing pick six for De La Salle as Cass Tech showing that they were not happy with their first half, even though they were up 14-0. They have come out and quickly changed the landscape of this game.
Yeah, they wanted to prove themselves Is Cass Tech a top team watch in the playoffs? Starting next week. Kick is up and good. 28-0 for Cass Tech over De La Salle with 2:59 to go here in this third quarter of play.
2:59 left in the third period. The score: Cass Tech 28, De La Salle 0.
Looking at some scores from around Metro Detroit here tonight.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen,
14-14 tie between Creighton and Heartland
to please
on
follow
that
the
game.
Michigan High School Athletic Association.
DeWitt on the west side of the state
Protocols
playing
for
Stevensville
safety.
Lakeshore. They have a 14-0 lead
Social distance
near the
wherever
end
it
of the
is
first
possible,
quarter.
but
Oxford and
masks are
Southfield A&T
mandatory
tied up at 0.
at
Getting ready to
all
start the
times.
second quarter of
Masks
play.
are mandatory at all times. Thank you.
Looking at some other
for your
scores from
cooperation.
around here tonight. Brother Rice taking on Detroit Country Day. That's another big game for Brother Rice on the Catholic League Central Division. Detroit Country Day, always a top team in Division 4. No score in that game. But a lot of good action around the state in the final week of the regular season.
We haven't. We haven't played it one time.
Hernandez will kick this off for the technicians. This one, high bounce, but picked up by Devin Smelter. Able to move down the field a little bit before he gets brought down at the 30-yard line by a swarm of technicians, and the Pilots will take over with 2:50 to go.
And De La Salle going to have to show a sense of urgency here, more so than they needed to on the last position, which with time dwindling, they already needed to do, but down 4 scores here late into the third quarter. They're going to have to gain some yards, and they're going to have to do it quickly. They don't want to drain that clock.
Just keep Joe what you tell Joe. Just tell Joe he good.
The Pilot offense comes back out onto the field after giving up an interception. The result of the touchdown for Kalen King just a few moments ago.
De La Salle, and they scrimmage from their own 32-yard line.
Ball's at the 33-yard line to begin.
My kid, you know he's fragile.
Ford is back in. They're going to give it off this time. First time we've seen him today, the junior running back, Seth Ray. Able to get a carry. The rain has stopped a little bit here in Detroit. Was calling for rain tonight, but that has gone away.
No man on the play, 2nd and 10.
So 2nd and 10 coming up for the Pilots.
Hey, Dior, be ready to get that backup secondary in that series. Don't tell him nothing right now.
4 defensive linemen for Cass Tech. Ray again gets stopped. Technician's gone out to him that time. Javen Sewell made the tackle. Under 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. De La Salle was able to do well in that first half. And looks like we have a timeout on the field.
3rd and a long 6-4.
Timeout for the Pilots. We'll talk it over here with 1:37 to go in the third.
There's a timeout on the field.
Yeah, De La Salle looking at a 3rd and 6. We'll see what they talk about in this timeout. Are they going to come out with a designed pass play and try to get a quick hitter here to get the first down and move the chains, or will they continue to go on the ground? But one thing you want to talk about with this De La Salle team, and we've talked about the issues they've had stopping the run, but it doesn't help that they've been dealing with injuries and absences on that front line this season. Lost one of their starting defensive linemen in Paul Kelliker, torn ACL. Matt Bouchon, another starter, has been dealing with an injury throughout the year. Dakota Weaver was suspended for a game, Dylan Weaver was suspended after a game after being thrown out against DeWitt, so he had missed after the first quarter of the DeWitt game. He was out against Harper Wood, so just got him back today. So the De La Salle front line has not been at full strength.
And that's been a problem for the Pilots with injuries. They're going to hand it off this time to Jacob Morphew. Morphew able to get back to the line of scrimmage, if that. And it's going to be a fourth down for the Pilots. Cass Tech able to prove themselves again. But a very talented team on both sides of the ball. Able to make a statement here in this third quarter after only being up 14 of it at halftime.
Yeah, it was a great third quarter for Cass Tech, and it's crazy because it started off horribly for Cass Tech on the fumble off of what was looking like it was going to become a touchdown run for them. But a fumble gave De La Salle the ball, and they were mounting a nice offensive drive before Cass Tech thwarted it, and then the technicians able to get 2 scores.
Kane's going to let this one go out of bounds. Now we're near the 35 or the 40-yard line. The technicians get back to work on the field with 39 seconds to go in the third quarter. 28-0 lead for them. Going to be interesting to see how the playoffs are going to work starting next week. Everybody makes it in. Cass Tech will be in Division 1, De La Salle in Division 2.
40-yard line.
It's going to be interesting to see how these two teams face in the playoffs in their respectable divisions. You've seen Cass Tech done really well. Gets all the talent, all their teams they face over the course of the season. As Munfield gets back to work. Handing off to Nate Briggs. Briggs with a nice run, but he gets tackled. The top of the body by the junior safety, Lucas.
Number 5, Nate Briggs, the ball carrier for Cass Tech.
It looks like an injured technician down on the field. We're seeing who that is. It looks like that's the senior offensive lineman, Charlie Sims Jr. With 26 seconds to go. Coaching staff and the trainer are going to look over at him. He gets up, going to walk over to the sideline. Sims, offensive tackler at 6'5". Has many Division I offers, including Arkansas, Kentucky, and Iowa State, just to name a few.
Yeah, you certainly don't want to lose him, so he's limping and definitely favoring
13-10, Cass Tech.
his his right leg, so hopefully he's wishing the best. Quick recovery for him.
Munfield's going to keep it this time. They faked it to Hosendove, able to move down the field. Gets brought down by a swarm of Pilots. That time, looks like making a tackle that play was the junior linebacker Dominic Ragona on the play. That looks like it's going to end the third quarter of play. 28-0 in favor of Cass Tech over De La Salle after 3 quarters of play here in the Detroit Free Press game of the week.
Well, and you have to give credit to Cass Tech. They've had some success on the ground running the football today, but they have capitalized on De La Salle's mistakes. A pair of interceptions and a punt return for a touchdown. They have done a phenomenal job, and they've not let De La Salle get away with making any mistakes. They have burned them each time De La Salle's committed an error, and De La Salle definitely knows that over on that sideline. And they know that this score, this 28-0 score, does not really define this game. They know that this is a much closer game than what the scoreboard says, but nonetheless, a very impressive performance for Cass Tech. They come out against a different looking team than what they've seen this year. A Wildcat style offense, not something that Cass Tech has really had to deal with this year, and they've done a phenomenal job, both stopping the run game and obviously the pass game with a pair of interceptions off of Brady Drogaj.
Munfield gets past the first down marker and more. It's a different team that Cass Tech has played with De La Salle this season. Munfield with the keeper again.
And he tiptoes his way to
That's something both teams will deal with in the playoffs. They'll play against teams they haven't seen in the regular season. It's going to be a different feel for both teams, like I said.
30-yard line.
Cass Tech playing a lot of teams in their area. They're in different conferences in the state. De La Salle will be playing a lot of those teams in Macomb County to start off district play. We'll see how they turn out to be in Division II this season. As we got a run this time, making the play, Brent Parker. First time we've heard his name here today. He's a senior. That was a nice run by Parker. Gonna move the ball, change for a first down.
The ball carrier for Cass Tech.
Able to get some experience for him.
The De La Salle 9-yard line, where it'll be first and goal.
First and goal. Parker looking to plow his way down the field. Looks like he's a yard short. Those are two nice runs by the senior, Brent
Brent
Parker.
Parker, the ball carrier for Cass Tech. He gets it to the 2-yard line.
10.5 to go.
Goal for the technicians.
Mumfield going to give it out to Parker again. Parker into the end zone, and it's a touchdown for Cass Tech. What a nice run by Brett Parker. And on the last 3 carries, he helped them get a score for the technicians, and it's a 34-0 lead.
Number 17, Brent Parker.
The onslaught on the ground continues for Cass Tech. The run game been very, very effective for them tonight. De La Salle just has not found a way to contain it.
A personal foul against Cass Tech will be enforced on the kickoff. So now Hernandez will look to make the extra point.
Joshua Hernandez will attempt the extra point for the technicians.
Hernandez gets a sound kick away, and it is good.
Off into darkness, but it's good.
35-0 is the score for the technicians over the Pilots here in the Detroit Free Press Game of the Week. Out here at Renaissance High School in Detroit.
Left into the contest.
It was a nice drive led by Brent Parker, a senior running back who hasn't really got a lot of experience over the course of the season, but able to get in, get a touchdown for him in his senior season. Feels really good for him.
Well, when you playing as talented as a backfield as he does at Cass Tech, and you have Division I football players and taking reps there, and Kobe King, you have Alvin Hosendorf. You know, you have 4, 5, 6 guys really that can get carries in the backfield. It's going to be tough to get everyone, you know, a ton of reps and whatnot. But right there, he takes it, and he had multiple nice runs to get down the field and eventually into the end zone.
Get ready to send it away this time. The technicians are going to move the ball back on the kickoff because of the penalty. So the Pilots looking to get some field possession.
There was a personal foul against Cass on the touchdown. There's a 15-yard penalty, so the technicians will kick off from their own 25-yard line.
Kickoff will be at their own 25-yard line.
Okay, I have some keys that were left in the men's restroom, some car keys. You can come up to the press
Here's
box
the
and get
kickoff
them.
here for the technicians. Line drive kick. Deniro Johnson's going to return it. Able to create some space. Gets a few yards before he gets brought down on the play. That time by Tyrone Gaines, the junior.
Once again, someone left.
This broadcast is brought to you by the Detroit Free Press, your flagship news and information source for sports in Michigan. The Free Press has launched a new digital subscription model which gives high school sports fans exclusive access to Mick McCabe's weekly columns, rankings, and predictions. Your support will help the Free Press stream high school football games all season long. Subscribe today at freep.com for our latest promotional offer. We'll be at 2 games tomorrow, a doubleheader for our Detroit Free Press Game of the Week out of Catholic Central for the Catholic High School League Prep Bowl Championship games. At 1 p.m., it's Clarkson Everest taking on Riverview Gabriel Richard in the Cardinal Division Championship. And then in the Bishop Division Championship at 4 p.m., it's going to be Detroit Loyola and Novi Detroit Catholic Central. Again, that's the Bishop Division Championship at 4 p.m. Both games will be at Catholic Central. A run here to start for the Pilots, Seth Ray. Also a new quarterback in for the Pilots
Number
as well.
30, the ball carrier for De La Salle, Seth Ray.
Pilots getting some guys.
Gain of about 2 on the play, second
reps
and
here
7
tonight.
for the Pilots.
Guys with some experience here in this final regular season game before the playoffs. They're going to hand it off this time to Rhett Roser. Roser gets a few yards on his left side before the technicians stop him there.
Yeah, and De La Salle mixing in some different players here and there, and you know, they see where this game is at, and it's an opportunity at this point. You know, it's unfortunate that you're not going to come out on top, but it's going to give you the opportunity to mix in some different players here and there, and
Third down for the Pilots.
get some guys some key reps against a good team. That's something that matters when you're trying to build a program, and that's what Dan Roan's doing in year 1 at De La Salle.
Yeah, able to get some guys in here late in this contest.
Look at Brady Pellegrom, one of those guys, the sophomore quarterback, a call up from the JV football team. So he's one of those guys that's going to benefit from an unfortunate game for a team like De La Salle in this situation, but one of the guys that benefits as a sophomore to be able to get out on the field and gain some varsity football experience, which is very different than the level of football being played at the freshman or JV level. Which, you know, it's like any sport. It's going to be at a much faster speed. You have to be quicker, smarter, better all the time, and it's important for him to get reps at a young age as a sophomore.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you mentioned, as Seth Ray carries the football for first down.
Seth Ray, the ball carrier.
That transition from sub-varsity freshman and JV to the varsity level is a very different game. When you're in the sub-varsity levels, you're playing guys at your same grade level, freshmen playing freshmen, JV mostly playing sophomores, obviously.
Second and 10, correction.
And this is a young De La Salle team. That's something that you have to remember. Obviously, they have a new program, a new philosophy under Dan Roan, but you look at their roster, you look at their starters, and you see so many sophomores down the line with this group. It's incredible to realize how young they are.
Pellegrim's going to keep it this time. Gets a nice gain for him on his first carry on the quarterback keeper. And that's something that every school does with their sub-varsity programs, so they know the philosophy, I should say, for their varsity system and the plays they run. And it was kind of different for all these schools who came in with the season starting off late in the year because of the pandemic, but then things have been able to have to people have to transition very quickly and have to learn things at a quicker pace because of how delayed the season was.
Yeah, it's been a learn on the fly for De La Salle, really for every program, but especially for those programs that are working with a new head coach and a new system. It's really been a learn on the fly kind of season, which is definitely a tough thing to deal with.
Yeah, absolutely, Aaron. We're going to see where they spot the football. So it looks like it's going to be fourth down. Looks like the offense is going to stay on the field. 5.5 to go. 35-0 lead in favor of Cass Tech over De La Salle here late in this one. It's at the 40-yard line. Fourth down and 3. Pellegrom calling the play. They have Ray in the backfield. Pellegrom is going to keep it, and he's brought down right at the line of scrimmage. That is a nice tackle by the junior, Jalen Roberts.
Ball carrier for De La Salle, sacked. Tackle for loss.
It's going to be a turnover on downs. So Cass Tech will get the football.
And the
4:31 to go here in this one.
Cass Tech will take over on down.
Cass Tech also bringing in a new quarterback as well. That's going to be Caleb Davis. We saw him late in the game against Detroit King last week, getting some repetitions at the quarterback position. Clock's under 4 minutes here in this one. High snap. Davis is going to throw. That one is going to be complete over to Latrell White.
Pass is complete.
It's brought down very quickly on the play.
Number 14, Latrell White with the reception. Number 15, Caleb Davis is at the controls for the technicians now.
So the ball moves back on the play for a second down and long. Clock at 3:18 to go. Davis stays on his feet before falling down on the play. Just like to mention, tonight's Detroit Free Press Game of the Week presented by Detroit Public Schools Community District. Every school day counts for our children's academic, social, and emotional development. Detroit Public Schools Community District is preparing students for their rise. They are simply providing face-to-face learning and online learning at home or in the Learning Center. Enroll today. Visit DetroitK12.org or call 313-240-4377. Remember, when students rise, we all rise. Third down and long for Cass Tech with 2:30 to go. The technicians moving down the field. Hodges again. He had a touchdown earlier. He gets down the midfield before a swarm of pilots get to him. Looking at where both of these teams will be placed in district-wise. Cass Tech will be in Division I, District 6. In the MHSCA district assignments. It looks like the offense is going to stay out on the field. Hand off this time again. What a nice run on the play. A nice run. That's Tayshawn Scott on the play before he gets run out of bounds. What a nice play by Scott.
Well, this is an intense Cass Tech team. They do not care that they're up 35 points and the clock has been running. They just want to keep scoring the football. They don't care about the score. They don't care how much they're beating you. They're going to keep trying to score the football, and they're trying to do so here before time expires.
1:25 to go.
The 15-yard line.
Davis keeps it himself, looking to move down a few more yards. It's brought down at the 10.
Number 15, Caleb Davis.
Second down here. Final minute here in this ball game. We'll see what Cass Tech will do moving forward here. There's a player down on the field. Looks like that's Davis on the ground. In a lot of pain.
Yeah, with 59 seconds left, that's probably the last thing you wanted if you're Cass Tech, and that's honestly not why I'm so sure. I'm not sure why they were so quick to try to run up the field and keep snapping the football. You know, you have an opportunity to really just take a knee and run the clock out. I'm not quite sure why, you know, you decide to keep taking snaps and keep trying to get up the field, especially with a guy like Davis who, yeah, he's, you know, just your backup quarterback, but he also takes snap for you as a wideout, and you know, you don't want to lose a guy that plays first line snaps for you.
Yeah, hopefully he's okay and gets ready for the playoffs beginning next week. Just some teams that could be interesting to see Cass Tech in the district round in the same district as Dearborn-Fortson, as well as Detroit Western for the technicians. For the Pilots, they're in District 16 in Division II. The top schools in that district right now are Port Huron and Roseville. Both of those teams are playing each other tonight. Going to be interesting to see how De La Salle does
They are in,
in Division II this season.
And it's in the press box.
And offsides against the Pilots. Clock will continue to run at 54 seconds.
Penalties against De La Salle. Encroachment on the defense.
Just going to move the ball up 5 yards. So second down at the 5. And the Pilots going offsides again. Going to put the ball at the 3.
Another penalty is against De La Salle. Encroachment.
And the play is called off. Would have been a touchdown on the play by Parker. That will not count. 28 seconds to go. Parker getting set. Clock will continue to run. Parker has it. Looking to get into the end zone. And it looks like he's short of it with 22 seconds to go.
This Cass Tech team, they just want to score. They want to keep scoring. I'm not quite sure what the big deal is, but they're running to the line.
And the Pilots jump off sides with 8 seconds to go.
This is quite the display here. You know, you have one team trying to run up the score, and you have another team just trying to take penalties to try to stop them to score and keep the clock running. I mean, this is comedy at its finest.
Parker plays called off again with 2 seconds. And it's going to be a false start against Cass Tech.
False start. That will be a 5-yard penalty.
And it looks like that is going to be the end of the ball game. A 35-0 win for the Cass Tech Technicians over the De La Salle Pilots. Cass Tech wanted to score in that last play. But it doesn't matter though, they still get the win here tonight. It gets a lot of momentum for them heading into the playoffs next week.
And Cass Tech, it's a big win. They get the job done. A big win for them over a De La Salle team who played, some tough football, but made too many errors. And Cass Tech, they capitalized each and every time. So, you got to give it to this Cass Tech team. Every time we see them, they look very well prepared, and they come out and they play a sound football game on both ends of the field week in and week out.
Yeah, absolutely. They're going to be an interesting team to watch in the Division I playoffs. De La Salle, we'll see how they do in Division II this season in the playoff action. It could be a fun team to see how these two teams go. So that is going to do it for us here tonight. Here in Detroit, our final score in this one, the Detroit Cass Tech Technicians 35 and the Warren De La Salle Pilots nothing here on our Detroit Free Press Game of the Week. On behalf of everyone here at the Detroit Free Press, on behalf of my partner Aaron Johnson, I'm Alex Johnson. Thank you for tuning in to tonight's Detroit Free Press Game of the Week, and we'll see you out at Catholic Central High School in Novi tomorrow for the Catholic High School League Prep Bowl Championship games beginning at 1 p.m. between Clarkson Everest and Riverview Gabriel Richard, and at 4 p.m. between Detroit Loyola and Novi Detroit Catholic Central. Have a good night, everyone, and good night from Detroit. We'll see you tomorrow afternoon.